Ethan here with the opening act. You're listening to Softspoken, a post-hardcore band from Kentucky. Here's my full interview with Sam Schuer, the vocalist for the band.
What's up, everyone? My name's Sam, singer in a band called Softspoken.
So can you describe how you guys met and give us a little backstory of the origin of the band?
So I was playing guitar in a band called Ocean Grid here in Kentucky, and we shared the stage with Softspoken once Chris got that up and going. And I auditioned with his brother is a producer, got a little studio. They had written this riff. They actually had the full song kind of like demoed out, and it was Begin Again. I like improvising stuff. I just hopped up on the mic and just started spitting some jibber jabber, Some stuff stuck actually. One More Step Into the Wrong Direction, that actually was improv, that came out that day. And so I kind of like built from that line. But yeah, they dug it, and so here I am.
Nice. Well, it sounds like they definitely made the right choice, because I feel like your band songs are very like crafted around your vocal delivery. Like it really sets the tone, I feel like. Can you describe your process of how you go about finding some of the unique tones and sounds that you throw into your songs?
Yeah. We still like get together and just jam, we all just like kind of. Sometimes, like a lot of times, it sounds like crap, but yeah, we just kind of like just jam. And Chris and Billy are really into gear. Chris more than anyone, and so like they're working on the Helix stomps right now. Chris has gone from like pedal board art to no analog stuff, to back to analog, to now to the Helix stomp. But they love, like, we love that ambient, we love ambient stuff, like, and just, a lot of verb.
Is it hard to replicate like those tones and nuances live, or how do you go about doing that?
The process was hard to get it going, but our set could totally be played DI. Chris has set up him and Billy with Helix Stomp in their tones. He set it up in our computer, and he doesn't have to even touch anything anymore. It automatically MIDI, like it's all MIDI'd out and switches over. I guess I'm not the best when it comes to that stuff. Playing it live, man, it's just as easy for real now, and almost probably easier, I think. Now, like, I remember Chris was saying, like, he's like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what to do with myself now. Like, I'm so, like, free.
Do you do the cleans and the screams as well?
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. That's me. Can you give any advice to like aspiring vocalists? Because obviously, like, you're hitting some pretty crazy tones here with both like how high you're hitting the cleans and just the tone that you're getting on the harsh screams as well.
Yeah. Let's see, advice. Man, so like, I personally think that anyone can sing. I really do believe that. I think it's just a matter of training your ear. And I think like it does take time, like in practice. I definitely like spent days in my bedroom when my parents weren't home, it just belting out and stuff. I never had any like real formal training. In college, I did take like a classical singing class. Dude, I don't know how much of that actually stuck though. But I think if I had to give some advice to people, it'd definitely be to train that ear and to not compare yourself to other people. Like, too many people want to sound like other guys or other girls. And like, you just have to kind of find your own voice, because I'm an instrument, like my body's built the way it is, and like you're gonna have a different tone because that's just like how you're built, But there is just that sweet spot for everyone's voice, and like I think that's where you should, like, people need to try to figure that out. And I don't know how to do that for you, and capitalize on that. I think that's what makes a really good singer, just like being good in your own skin.
I watched a little bit of your guys' YouTube videos where you were giving kind of like some background info on your like lyrical process, and you discussed like a musician's desire not to be misunderstood or mislabeled. Can you give a little bit more insight to that? Like, is that something you and the guys have dealt with before?
It took us a long time to like just like cope with the fact that like we just got to do our own thing and be on our own grind and not worry about numbers, not worry about what other people are doing or like what they have and what we don't have. There have definitely been times where I feel like labels like almost gave us a shot but didn't, and we thought that we were misunderstood in that aspect because like our work ethic is just like maybe it doesn't always get seen, but like we like Chris for real like built this from the ground up. I mean, he's like an amazing marketer and he works with so many other bands now. We've gone into every studio with every producer with everything demoed out, like every idea just like they're obviously going into it know that it's gonna change and you can't be married to anything. We have had moments where like, man, I wish like they would have given us a shot, or man, like if only they knew like how much we grind, like, or how like reliable we are. Like there's been countless times we've been on tours, like the Macari tour and the I Set to Kill tour, like where like venue owners and promoters were just like, dude, Softspoken are the coolest dudes. I'm not trying to tour our horn, but we try to be the coolest dudes. We try to be so humble and genuine everywhere we go. So hopefully like that keeps going and people catch on to like, yeah, I've heard about it. Those guys are rad. I would love the tour. Like in other bands, like, dude, bring Softspoken. They're the coolest dudes to bring on tour with you guys. People compare us to certain bands, and maybe in that sense, like we've gotten a break in Benjamin, we've gotten Coheed and Cambria, and we're like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, it's interesting because like post-hardcore I feel like is just sort of a catch-all genre at this point. Like,
yeah,
it's what people label stuff that like it's just a bunch of different influences and sounds.
No doubt.
Into yourself till you're nothing at all. Till you're not like you know.
Did you guys have any influences that were very important to you guys coming up that you took inspiration from?
Most definitely. Chris loves As Cities Burn, and we've gotten to share the stage with him once. That was a huge influence for him in his writing style. Billy loves like the heavy stuff, man. As Lay Dying, he'll tell you, was like one of his biggest influences. So already right there, you're getting such a weird mesh of dudes. And I love singing some like R&B and soul and stuff. And there's a little bit of that in some of our music. Maybe some of the newer stuff that people haven't heard yet.
Is there any like stories that stick out in your mind from songwriting, recording, mixing, touring?
Oh man, I can go on. We were on tour, so it was one of my first tours ever. Like, I'd never gotten to do anything like this, get on the road like this. And so my first big tour was with label mates, Scent Like Wolves and Revenant. It was when we were on We Are Triumphant, and we were at this cool venue. They had 2 stages, and it was kind of like newly renovated. It was in Alabama. So like they let us stay the night there, and like the only person in charge was the bartender. So we're all just sitting there, she's slinging drinks for us. A few guys and even the bartender herself, like they go upstairs to like smoke doobies and stuff. And like me and Chris and some of the dudes in Scent Like Wolves like stayed down by the bar and just having some beers. And like, man, I always like respect the rule. No, I shouldn't say that. I try to respect the rules. I try to be very, I try to be a nice guy and stuff, but I did something kind of silly. And like I hopped over the bar and started slinging everyone free drinks and shit. I was like, hurry up, drink this shit up before she goes down and sees us. And everyone was loving it down there, man. I was like bartending for a hot minute and she had no idea. Man, we totally stole, it's so bad.
If you can't do that, what's it all about, right?
I know, we're not like that, but she never knew. It wasn't that much. She never knew, and then we all stayed the night. It was cool. We all just slept in the venue. Dude, that tour, I've never slept in so many venues before and never have done it since as I have done on that tour. Every venue owner was like, yeah, you can just sleep here. We're like, okay, cool. I always will crack jokes, like dad jokes. I always crack the, what's a pirate's favorite letter? And everyone always goes, R, and no, we like the C. So if you're watching anyone back home, if you hear me say that, you'll know. And I always give out free merch for anyone who gets it. But yeah, I said that joke there because we were having technical difficulties. Our bass players, shit wasn't working. So no lie, we kicked the song back in. I thought everything was good after that joke. Well, it wasn't. But I'm singing my songs, I'm crushing it as the best I can, and I'm also turning around and screwing in shit on his bass, like going behind his amp and like getting a different cable, all while singing. I think it was like sound chip and stuff. Yeah, I could have just been like, oh shit, cut it out. We got, or I could have just let the bass player just, look dumb, I guess. But nah, man, we all look dumb. So.
Let me know if you have any tips or tricks for recording and mixing for those out there who might be interested.
I think it's very important out there, any DIYers, independent bands, I think it's so important to come prepared. Like, it is so important to just demo some stuff, even if it's not good, but to give a producer everything that you possibly can to work with. It's just gonna make your writing process and like just the whole process in general so much better. Like, I hear it all the time with pro bands and shit, like going into the studio with fucking nothing. Like, what? Like, I personally couldn't even imagine going in with empty-handed. I mean, I think that's cool in some regards. Like, maybe if you're putting out a whole album, sometimes some of the best stuff does happen in the studio, But I definitely think for those DIYers, like, definitely come prepared with like some demos. It doesn't have to be the best. I also think that like when it comes to writing, I guess it depends on genre or style that you're going for, but less is always more, like as a collective, it's like you always hear like too many hands in the cookie jar. It's like too many instruments on the mix, it's just like sometimes less is more.
Because if you layer too much stuff, you're not gonna be able to hear each part individually.
Yeah, because it's storytelling almost at the same time. So like, that's almost the most important part, is like you still gotta like tell your story or like tell your message,
What is your inspirational process to find these lyrics and sort of what works for creating this vibe for you guys?
Yeah, man, I think experience, that's what's inspiration. You gotta like pull from what you know, pull from what you went through. Depth Perception was definitely like conceptual and like it was like broad in general, and like really deep down there's like personal stuff. The inspiration for that album, I'll tell you, it was when we were recording Begin Again and How We Rise, and it was that feeling, like I said before, like when like we felt like misunderstood a lot of times by like the industry, being jerked around like by so many people at the beginning, and like you go through that. Like bands will go through getting jerked around, making bad decisions. It's nothing to like beat yourself up for, it's experience. That's one thing Depth Perception made us realize, so we've got to just be humble and be thankful and grateful that we get to do this, and that like it works out with our personal lives that we get to do this, that we have support with family, because I'm a musician at heart. I love music.
Thanks so much for watching my full interview with Sam from Softspoken. I hope you enjoyed this content. I know I sure had a great time talking to Sam and hearing all of his crazy stories. You can support Softspoken by liking them on Facebook and streaming their content on Spotify and YouTube. Alright, that's it. See you in the next video.
Can't be blinded.